I'm Stephen.
And I'm Bret.
And we are the Broadway husbands.
And in this video, we're going to tell you about our next steps in our surrogacy journey. And that is, after our last video, we told you that our surrogate got medical clearance.
So now we have to draft up the contract and agree upon terms, and then set a date for the embryo transfer.
Yeah, so we actually were able to use the lawyers who had helped us with our previous surrogate, the one that bailed on us. They were able to just reword the contract for our current gestational carrier.
Yes.
And she agreed to the terms.
Yay!
And we didn't have to do a lot of back and forth and negotiating. And
which was nice.
Once everything was signed, we could then just send that to RMA, our clinic in Connecticut, and they could schedule the embryo transfer. And so in order to get the embryo transfer done, what they needed to do was like figure out, this was interesting because we've never ever had to spend time figuring out a woman's menstrual cycle.
Yeah, time of the month.
And we had to spend time like figuring out her menstrual cycle. Yeah. So they have to give her some medicine. The first thing that they wanted to give her was estrogen to take. And
they like to measure her uterine lining so that they make sure that her uterine lining is thick enough. In the first screening, she was almost there, and so then they upped her dosage of estrogen, and then by the time her next screening came about, her uterus the lining was thick enough, but
it was too thick.
It was too thick almost, and there was fluid inside. So we had to wait and see what she would do naturally without any hormones. And so then the next month we did the same thing, and they monitored her, and her uterus naturally did exactly what they wanted her to do. So we were hoping that then we would schedule the transfer then, but it was over the Christmas holiday, and
the clinic was closed.
The clinic was closed for 3 weeks, so we missed it. So then we had to wait another cycle.
So we had to wait for 2 cycles,
full cycles,
in order to do the transfer. So after all this waiting, we were just like, really, we're going to keep waiting. But ultimately, I think the thing we learned from that is that you should do a mock cycle. That's it. Like, that's what it was. It was a mock cycle of her meds.
But we didn't know that. We were just like, ready to go.
Yeah, they weren't calling it a mock cycle, but that's basically what it was.
Right.
Which basically I think you should do. If you want to make sure things go smoothly when you actually do the transfer, they should just figure out how her body reacts. And it turns out our gestational carrier, her body naturally just likes to be pregnant. It naturally did exactly what they need the hormones to do. So
they didn't end up not giving her any.
They didn't actually need to give her any.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So anyway, so that's where we are. We had to wait for the holidays to be over in order to actually see how her uterine lining would work. And now we're gonna have a transfer. So maybe the next video we'll talk about how the embryo transfer went.
Yes.
So we're super excited.